we have finished our pathways and our little walkways here around our base, but we're just gonna look over them real quick and everything. So tell me what you guys think. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So today we're just gonna do some, random stuff. I felt like doing a little bit of building today. So this episode is actually gonna be kind of us tidying up. So what I wanna do is connect some paths and kind of make this area here look a little better. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build out this little circle here because I want to add a little pond in here. So I think this should be decent amount of size, and what I want to do is have like kind of a waterfall. I like this little cove, but I kind of want to turn this into a waterfall, make it kind of flowing down here, flowing into a little pond here, have some paths connecting up to this entrance, connecting up to our villager farm here, and then of course have some paths up to the house and over here to our other farms and everything, probably all the way to our storage coliseum. And then the other thing I want to do is actually open this up to make an entrance in here. So if we fly through here, you can see there's nothing underneath, but we're going to take out one of these staircases here to actually make an entrance, so we don't always have to just fly in here. But the first thing we're going to do is mine out where we want this little pond to be, and I really don't know how big I want to build it. This also looks kind of janky right now, so I think I'm gonna figure out the size of this pond and kind of the shape, and then we'll go from there. This also doesn't look too bad like this, so maybe we'll go with this. Maybe we'll extend it just a little, make it a little bigger. All right, guys, so we have a little bit of an idea of how we want this all to kind of be set up. So this is where our main pond is gonna be. And then we have this little stream that's gonna come from this area, which will have kind of like, we're gonna close this off, kind of make it like a cave wall, but then up here will be a tiny little spring pool, I guess, and it'll flow out into a waterfall. And then I also added another hole for another little pond up here to kind of add some water up here. So that's gonna be our little setup here, and then we're gonna have a pathway. Hey, a cat. So we're gonna have a pathway going across the rivers here. We're gonna make a little bridge. It's gonna be diagonal, so maybe that wasn't the best idea. This might be a little difficult, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then next we kind of just want to plan out where we want our pathway to go. So I think this is gonna have to move. This whole thing is kind of in the way. I really don't like this being here, but it is what it is. We decided to make it here, and this is where it's gonna stay. All right, so we moved the boat on that side, so now that's out of the way. So now we kind of want to mark out how we want this thing to kind of lay. So our bridge is gonna ideally come over these two little water streams here and end up somewhere in this area. So we'll just go ahead and mark this with a path like this.
12 seconds later.
So that's kind of our path area. It's kind of messy right now, but we'll tidy it up, and you can see it comes through here all the way down, and we have all these connecting areas. So this is gonna make our base look way better once we're finished. I will say, guys, I haven't spent much time here on my survival world because I have been playing the April 1st update quite a lot. I am kind of addicted to it. I'm playing the heck out of it, and I'm having a really fun time with it, but also it's been taking my time away from here with the little bit of time I already have. So decided to set that down for a little bit. But what we're gonna start with is the little spring area up top, and then have this kind of connected so we can close this area off and make a little waterfall river thing here. All right, so we're gonna do that, and then we'll be right back. Hey everyone, real quick while we're building this, I just wanted to ask y'all if y'all could please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps out, and I would really appreciate it. But with that being said, thanks for watching. I love y'all. Let's get back to the video. Alright, so we got a little bit of work done here. We got a small pond, then we have this little pond up here that kind of flows down, and then we have our little mountain closed up in here from the little spring. But this is what we got to start with. And so now what we're going to do is, obviously we got to decorate this up a little bit. This looks pretty trashy right now, but next we're going to work on a bridge here. So we're going to come up with a bridge design to go across this area, and I'm trying to figure out where I want it to end at. Maybe at this level right here, and then kind of have like this part be the pathway up here. So we're probably gonna have to mine some of this out just to make it work. So if we head over here to our storage area, we're gonna make a wooden bridge, and we're looking for dark oak because that's kind of the theme that's going on with our house already and the surrounding buildings. So we're gonna use a dark oak theme. So we're gonna start work on that and just see what we can come up with. Okay, so we got a little progress here. We've made the start of a bridge and have something small here, and of course we make it in the most difficult orientation, which is diagonal. And the struggle I'm kind of running into is putting side pieces here, but also not closing off the walkway all that much. I think I might be able to put something like in these spots, for example. So kind of like that. That actually looks pretty good. So if we go over on this side and put one on this side too, I think this is the same spot. So something like this, I think, looks pretty good. I don't know if I want to make this too high or make it one high, but actually I think 2 actually looks pretty good. And there was an idea I saw online with these, is to actually use some hanging signs. But yeah, so this is our little bridge, and we're gonna make it look a little more solid here, but this is just what we had so far. So a quite unfortunate turn of events here. The idea that I had with the hanging signs actually doesn't work diagonally, so I was thinking you can maybe like put them diagonal for some reason. I just forgot how I play Minecraft, I guess, but you can only put them like this. So this is kind of the idea I had, but it doesn't work diagonal. So we're just gonna get rid of these. I have these 12 hanging signs now with nothing to use them for. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna get some stone, and we're just gonna add it along the lines here of our bridge, make it look a little beefier, because with just the slabs here, it looks like a pretty flimsy bridge if we go to the side here. The other thing we're gonna do is here in the front, we're gonna add a couple more of these wooden pillars right here in the front. So just like this, and then I think we'll just add some stone here on these. Maybe not. Let's see, it works on that one, but not this one. Maybe, I guess we might need some slabs here instead. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I think these are too low. I think I gotta bring these up one more. So we're gonna break all these slabs, and what we're gonna do is just put it like that. So that looks good. Yeah, it looks a little goofy, but it looks better than this. The other idea I had is to put like some trapdoors over the stone like this. Oh, well, I guess that one doesn't work. Okay, so maybe not. I think I'm definitely making this way more complicated than it needs to be. So I'm not the best at designing stuff, so this kind of is just me randomly placing stuff, and I don't really know if I like this. You guys will have to let me know what you think of it, honestly. Okay, so I've thought about this a little bit. I added some trapdoors. I think that looks okay, but I think what's gonna help this a little bit is just adding some nature around the thing here and spicing up the blocks a little bit. So I think it's just too much of one color or too much of one block type. So I think adding some texture in here, changing up some of the blocks, maybe not stone, maybe cobblestone, and maybe having like some mossy variants down here might help a little bit. So we're gonna do a little bit of experimenting, and I think that'll help this out a ton, because right now this just looks too plain. Because it's one block type, it's really making it look bad. So we're gonna do a little bit of changing up here, some different blocks, and see how it looks. Hey guys, so I want to shout out another viewer of the channel. This time I want to shout out Rob. They're always super encouraging, super nice in the comments, and I just want to say thank you for always leaving a nice comment, always being encouraging. I really love everyone's comments that they leave on my videos. Everyone's comments are always super nice, and I always enjoy reading them all. Alright guys, so you saw the work we're doing, and here is our new and improved bridge, and it looks 10 times better in my opinion. It is very noisy, you know, like a lot of our other builds around here, but I think it looks way better. It looks just kind of run down and, you know, overgrown a little bit, so it's kind of the theme around here. But I think it looks much better, so now we're going to actually start building up the full paths and decorate this pond at least a little bit, get this area done, and we're probably going to decorate this little waterfall a little bit also. This looks pretty boring, pretty bland, and yeah, go from there. So here is our new bridge, and I like it so much more. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So the next thing we're going to work on is we're going to work on making this pond look a little better. So the first thing we're going to do is I got a couple campfires because we want to make a little bench here. So we're going to start with these 2 campfires. All we have to do is, well, not that. We don't want to type on the sign. Put a sign on the back of each of these, and then put a trapdoor, and there we go. There's our little bench here, right next to the water side. But now, I want to take some gravel and actually put some gravel down here to kind of make this down here look a little better. Okay, so we have our little gravel patch, and I don't think I want to bring up any to the surface, just because I don't really like how it looks, but we are going to change some of this to sand. So we're going to put a couple patches of sand. I knew that was going to happen. Just over here like this, maybe bring some down. So that looks better now. Of course, we're just going to add a couple more details in there later. So then, of course, being right next to the water, we're going to add some sugar cane. That's almost mandatory. Maybe we'll just have like a short one. I am going to have to get some string, and then we'll have like a little bit taller one. And then lily pads are also necessary. Kind of one of the things that you always have in a pond whenever you make one. And then the last thing that we're gonna add is there's actually this cool little trick. If you take glass panes, well, not right there, that's not gonna work. You have to find a spot where it's not gonna connect to any block, and actually it might be a little hard in this area. Oh, this spot should work. So if you take glass panes, green ones like this, and then you take a candle, specifically a brown one, and you put it on top, it makes those cattail plants. I don't know if you guys know what those look like. I'll put one on screen right now, but it makes this cool little plant looking thing here in the water. And you can build these with just some glass panes and some candles. So we're gonna add a couple of these to our pond here to, you know, spruce it up a little bit, make it look a little more lively. We'll put another one right here in the very middle. So there we go. We have a couple of the cattails in here as well. We might put a couple more now that I look at it. 3 here just kind of look a little plain. Maybe we'll add some more, maybe not. And then the last thing is if we go to our, okay, the Elisha never want to works when you're actually trying to get it to work. All right, if we go over here to our bone meal farm, and if we take our bone meal now, we're just gonna go underneath here and add some seagrass to the bottom of our pond here. Give it a little more life. Now our pond looks way more lively, way more detailed, and much better than the just little puddle we had earlier. So now we're gonna actually take our shovel and fully kind of map out. Oh, I guess I can't make that a path. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna fully map out our pathways here. We might have to come back in here later and either add some more paths or destroy some more paths. But for the most part, this is how our little walkway is gonna look. So yeah, so we're gonna start working on setting down the actual paths, and then we're gonna decorate them. Okay, so if we take a look around now, we have all of our paths kind of mapped out here. I forgot I didn't add string on the sugarcane, so the sugarcane's just growing over there. But now you can see that we have a pathway running all the way across our base, all the way over here to our storage coliseum. And now the next thing, the next task is working on a path kind of thing that goes down each of these little mountains that we have. And that's going to be the next challenge, because quite honestly, I hate making pathways up mountains. I am not good at them. I can never get them to look right. So we're gonna try to come up with something before we start working on the rest of the pathways and finishing up here. All right guys, so we're back and we've done a little bit of work here with our little mountain sides on all of the different areas. So we have this spot here, and if we go over here, we have this spot, and then we got 2 more here. So up and down these couple hills, and then lastly the big kind of hill up here into our coliseum. And I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. I think it's just kind of like a little natural flow to the mountain, but I don't like this flat section. So we're probably going to texture this up a little bit, but also I don't like how it's just kind of falls off like this. So what I thought is, let's take some walls here, and I don't know how this is going to look, but we're going to put some walls here with just fences on the top and kind of connect it like this, and I think that should look okay. It looks a little goofy, and just add some fences here to kind of give it like a little railing. And I don't know if I like this fence here, so there was one idea I had of putting hanging signs in between, and that looked okay. Obviously you can walk through here, but that's really not that big a deal. But I think having just these little railings here looks a little better than just a straight flat edge. I don't know, you guys will have to tell me what you think. So I think just something simple like this is what we're gonna go with. I tried adding some stairs in here, but I wasn't too big of a fan of it. And I obviously extended some of the fences a little bit to add just a little bit more randomness in there. And I think it helped a little bit. So we're gonna go do the same over here. So we're gonna add one here and probably on this side. And then that will be this part all finished. Okay, we finished our little mountainside paths here, and the texturing definitely made them look way better. So the flat surface just was not doing very good, and the texturing now makes these all look way better. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. Now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna collect a bunch of resources. We need some mud bricks, we need some leaves, we need lots of lanterns, fences, and some flowers. But before we do that, one thing that I want to do actually in this little area is I really want a giant oak tree right here. So I think it'd be cool if we had a giant oak tree and then kind of like have it hanging over the bench here. Now the only issue is I don't know where I want this to be at. I think I want it on this block, but we're gonna have to mine out a couple to actually get this to grow. But if you don't know how to actually make one of these grow, if you place 4 solid blocks on the top of it just like this, right? So you have this little setup. I almost jumped in there. Then we're gonna need some bone meal. And then if we take our bone meal and just spam it on this tree right here, it is gonna take a lot. Are you kidding me? Bro. Okay, let's try this again and hopefully get a better giant tree, please. Okay, that one's better. It's honestly a little higher than I would have liked. Yeah, that one's ginormous actually. Man, so we get one that's too small and then we get one that's ginormous. Okay, we might get rid of this one also. The good thing is we are getting a bunch of wood and leaves from doing this, but it is kind of annoying that we're not getting the tree that we want. So hopefully third time's a charm, maybe? Maybe not. Oh, bro, what's with these small trees, bro? Come on. Alright guys, it took more attempts than I'm willing to admit, but we finally got a good tree here. It's actually overhanging over the bench and it's not super tall, and it's also not like protruding on our base here. So now we have our little tree here, and in the process we got tons of leaves, we got some cobblestone here, fences, all that stuff. So now we're just gonna do a time lapse of me finishing up these pathways here, and then I will check back when we're all finished. Alright guys, and just like that, we have finished our pathways and our little walkways here around our base. So I know you guys already saw them, but we're just gonna look over them real quick and everything. So tell me what you guys think. They stretch all the way over here from our villagers to our wool farm to this spot right here. We're gonna eventually have a bridge, and I just realized I blocked that off. But they come up to our base here, and I stopped here. We're probably gonna leave this side open, but we'll add a wall here because this is gonna eventually come down. And then it just stretches all the way across our base, all the way over here. Oh, left my shulker box. Oh well. But yes, so we are all finished now, and I'm really happy with it. I like how it turns out. It's a nice touch to the base and everything. Also, I mined a hole through here so we can access the floor, but we still gotta kind of finish this up, but we'll do that later. The other thing is I have it just the normal path blocks right now. I haven't decided if I'm gonna throw in some of the like different dirts and things like that, like this one over here. We might just leave it the path. It looks pretty nice. But yeah, we'll see what we decide, I guess. But that is going to do it for the episode today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this building focused episode. I like doing these building episodes every now and then and actually making our world look pretty nice. So let me know down below in the comments what you think. Leave a like if you enjoyed the episode and want to see more. And consider subscribing if you're not already. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care, everyone.